Welcome to Michigan Main Lines. Today we're going to look at some more railroad action in the 90s. Right now we are at Porter Junction in Porter, Indiana. Conrail east-west Chicago line main line. Milepost 482.2 to be exact. And Wagner Road, North Jackson Boulevard crossing area. We are looking at an Amtrak coming off of the Chicago line now. It's going to be getting onto the Amtrak's Michigan branch, which runs up to Kalamazoo. So we'll watch that come through the junction here. This line is owned by Amtrak from here to Kalamazoo, but Conrail did have trackage rights on it at this time. Today in 2019, all the track here is still in place. It's still a very busy junction. Of course, Amtrak is still operating this section, and as far as I know, Norfolk Southern has trackage rights on it now still, but I don't believe it sees that much freight action. That is looking up, kind of northeastward now. Again, looking kind of westward now, the Chicago east-west main line. Over to the left, you can't see it in this shot, but you have the Porter branch. There's Jackson Boulevard, Wagner Road. Again, the east-west Chicago line. Porter branch. This junction was quite a fan hotspot at this time. It was pretty unbelievable when I first discovered it. There would pretty much just be a ton of people parked right here in between the tracks almost any time, even at night. I know there was one occasion when I seen them there. Just an unbelievable mix of people, locals and people coming from out of town. I know one gentleman came in weekly from Kalamazoo. A lot of Chicago area fans came in, and it was all ages. It was from children all the way up to people in their 80s, maybe even older. Husbands and wives would come out here and set up lawn chairs. I mean, it was just a social gathering place. Just totally unbelievable. But you were able to really meet a lot of interesting people. Of course, now this east-west Chicago line is now Norfolk Southern. But still a very busy place. You don't see it in this shot, but there is also the CSX branch, which goes up kind of northeastward up into Michigan to Grand Rapids. That, of course, is still in place. We'll get a better look at some of those a little later. This will just be part one of the Porter. There will be more Porter down the line. There is the CSX branch you see going off to the left there. Looking eastward now toward Chesterton. That's the Chesterton Water Tower in the distance. We have another eastbound. rail grinder makes an appearance. I believe in part 2 we will actually see them grinding a little bit. Unfortunately, they will be on the other side of another train. I didn't get on the right side of the tracks to catch them coming up out of the Porter branch. This is a location where sometimes there would be so many trains at one time you would miss out on a lot of the action because of it. Sadly, the popularity of this fan location is pretty much what led to its downfall. There was just so many people coming here, and when you get that many people coming to a location, you're bound to have individuals that don't do smart things. People were starting to swarm all across the track, set up tripods in the ballast close to the rails, and it was just a matter of time before engineers started to radio in complaints. I remember one time I was there, a Conrail engineer radioed the tower and described the area as a carnival type atmosphere and wanted to know what was going on. Clearly that can't go on for too long, and it didn't. No trespassing signs were posted, and this whole inner area here between the tracks was declared off limits. I heard stories of fans even being arrested and being some pretty bad situations there. And now to this day it's an off-limit area. But there's still a lot of good areas right around Porter to rail fan. Legal places on public property, on the street, on the sidewalk. Here's a look at the Porter branch now that swings off to the left. And now we have another eastbound on the Chicago line coming in. Pure Conrail power, something you're not going to see in 2019. This though really would be a perfect location to make some type of a rail park. Hint, hint for anybody that's out there listening that has any kind of an inclination to try to lobby the local government to do something like that. We need something like that in northern Indiana. To the left, a little way down the line, towards that tower down there, is Riley's Rail House, which is probably familiar to many of you as a location that has a camera, couple cameras actually, that you can view. That's also a location where I know I have seen rail fans on the cams many times, but nowhere near the numbers that used to come here to Porter. Of all the hotspot locations I'm aware of in northern Indiana, I've never seen anything the way this Porter used to be back at this time when it was just such a social gathering spot. It still amazes me to this day. I know the new legal rail parks that you have in Ohio and Illinois attract a lot of people, but you know, this was back at a time when it wasn't a formal setup, and it just amazed the heck out of me. And we will be getting pretty close to the end. Again, this is part 1. There's going to be a part 2. I know there's more Porter. I'm not sure how much more I got. There might be a winter one. So thank you for watching. I hope you find some enjoyment in these old things. Like I've said before, you know, didn't have the best of equipment, wasn't that much of a pro, but I mean now it's all we got, so it's just neat to look back. So again, like, subscribe, and we'll see you later. And now we have another eastbound on the Chicago line coming in.